Things are getting weird.
We're back
At Designercon 2022.
If you've never heard of Designercon before, it's sort of hard to put your finger on exactly what it is, but it's one of my favorite events of the year.
It's basically a wonderful world of weirdos. A place for offbeat art and offbeat artists, for official toys and bootleg toys, posters, prints, and ideas.
And it is wonderful. Generally speaking, at Designercon, at most booths, I have no idea what I'm looking at. But that's half the fun of it, is the discovery. Colorful characters abound.
New artwork is everywhere.
You're pretty much guaranteed to see something you've never seen before here.
And that is why I love it so much.
Dude, what is it about Donald Duck, Mecha Donald Duck with no eyes? That's so terrifying. Ooh, look at Tattoo Genie. Ah, Mickey's dead tired. Must be quitting time. Dude, there's so much going on here. So many different creations and artist signings and meet and greets with people I've never heard of. Things to see that I never dreamed of, like a Pac-Man Nissan.
What I really love are some of the booth designs.
And the way that they all try to stick out from each other with different creative ideas. Like, look at this giant lemonade thing.
Yes, sir, this convention is the bomb.
And it's extra exciting this year because not only is it bigger than ever, but it's the first time that a lot of the vendors have come back since the pandemic. So I am extra stoked to be back. Dude, look at this booth. You've got all these imprisoned primates.
Not only hawking all of their various wares, look at those.
But inside here, after the metal detector,
the prisoners themselves are in there doing live embroidery, apparently. See, I love this. People come up with designs or concepts or brands and then find these really creative ways to display and promote them.
Now, primates is a thing I haven't really ever heard of before. But right next door, I'm sure many of you have heard of the artist known
as Shag, who's not only doing live signings,
but also has his whole Shag store set up at Designercon,
featuring some of his most shagadelic paintings, like these Batman ones,
Benedict Canyon, an old woman and her grandson,
and even some of those
epic Disneyland prints that he's become so famous for. Loved Shag bringing back that mid-century minimalistic style. I love that through him a lot of mid-century design sort of returned to the Disney parks merchandise.
And the few times we've met before, he's always been a really nice guy.
So you keep on shagging, Shag.
As cool as it is to see artists you know of,
I think the most fun part of Designercon is discovering all these different artists and different designs that you've never heard of. Look at the statue. It's all cardboard, paper mache, and spray paint. Dude, that is sick. There's so many different cool art installations over in this section.
I am loving this video game theme over here. Look at this pile of tickets before all the plinths containing art,
including not just paintings and sort of cool multimedia pieces, but even knockoff bootleg style toys,
which are really just pieces of art in their own right, and some of my favorite types of art that you'll find at the show.
I love me some action figures, and I especially love
bootleg figures or custom figures or art figures. Look at this one. Mega Pac-Man. Oh, I'd love to have that. That is a genius idea.
I love that he's holding an Amazon-style package.
And the tagline is faster than Prime.
Wow, look at this. There he is. The king himself. Donkey Kong.
Sitting on his NES throne, looking awfully sad.
Maybe it's because the skull of his old enemy Mario's right here. He must miss him. Dude, all of this stuff is amazing, and it's tempting to show you way too much of any given display
because each booth and each installation has got so much going on.
You can really find yourself getting sucked in and zoomed in, then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, oh, I've got a lot more convention to see. Look at this. Here's a juxtaposition for you. Look at this all black and white junkyard booth, and then right next door, so colorful.
It is incredible, the talent and the creativity on display at even the most simple of booths.
Some of my favorite ones are the most confusing ones, where you've got these sneakers here combined with all kinds of crazy art prints back there, vinyl toys,
and even for some reason a taxidermy beaver. All right. Ooh, now check out this booth over here. This is probably a good time to remind you guys that
although I work hard to run a family-friendly operation here at Random Land at Designercon,
there is all kinds of art on display, some of which is much more adult-themed than other pieces, and I can't always control what pops up in the background, so buyer beware. Dude, what the heck? There are some of the best things at these little booths over here, some of the coolest stuff. I want to own all of this, although I gotta say some of it is a little bit disturbing.
Oh my gosh, it's Fresh Monkey fiction. This is a very small toy maker
that have put up a comic book Rocketeer figure for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, among obviously, as you can see, many other fine offerings. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I pre-ordered that Rocketeer figure, and I can't wait to get it. Okay, I just remembered that as per usual, I've got a couple of friends out here at the convention that I should probably go try to find before I get too sucked into the custom figures.
And friendship number 1,
It's the fine folks of Merch Motel. And dude, look at the sick Merch Motel merch. I know Allie has that one.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for sending that. That was nice of you. Sick Merch Motel. And the good thing about stopping by the Merch Motel booth, by the way, look at that. How sick is the Garbage Pail Kids in 3D? Anyway, is that he turned me on to where my next friendship lies. Back in the very back corner of Outer Darkness, they have a fine selection of movie and TV inspired vehicles, including my friend Marco's original real-life Pizza Planet truck, which of course has always been awesome, but I must tell you, as much as I love your Pizza Planet truck, there is something behind you that is way cooler.
I mean, go for it. Check it out.
It's the freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wagon! Normally they have the Pizza Planet truck here because it's a Pizza Planet truck. It's awesome to look at. But this time you're just here to deliver pizza to the Party Wagon! Dude, I've been following this Instagram account for years and years and still never saw the Turtle Wagon in person. Dude, I think every kid that grew up in that era that ever had a van, like me, always dreamed of turning it into a turtle van. But this guy Jason, this madman, actually pulled it off. Dude, look at that. Look at the shifter. That is so sick. And the door! Obviously the 1989 Batmobile will always be my favorite movie vehicle. But this might be my favorite TV one. Tied, of course, with the 66 Batmobile, because how can you go wrong with that? Dude, I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wagon toys I had as a kid. I'm very jealous of Jason's van here. But don't get me wrong, the Pizza Planet truck deserves props too. And it's not the only Pixar vehicle in town, because Marco is also parked right next to the Sally Porsche. See, that's what I love about Designercon. It's not really about one type of medium, it's about ideas. Pretty much any type of creativity and design you can think of, they find a way to stuff it in these halls. And I say halls because this year the convention, like I said, is back to full size in 2 halls. Oh, that's right. They're back to double the space, double the people, and double the epic stuff to look at than they were in the lean pandemic years. There's so much to see. Normally I get the 3-day all-weekend pass. This year I've just got a ticket for this one day, unfortunately. I had to cancel other plans to make sure I didn't miss at least that one day. I pretended to be very sad about it, of course, but I always seem to forget that the people that I canceled on are always going to see the videos of whatever I was up to. Oops. Sorry, friends. Oh, finally, I've located friendship number 3. The Builders of Awesome Monster City Studios. These are the guys that are literally the Builders of Awesome. And if you recall, they constructed my Frankenstein head for Midsummer's Scream. There's Jimmy P over there. And Amanda, the one who painted it. You did such a great job. Monster City Studios can basically build anything. These are more pieces of the giant Dungeons and Dragons man cave they're building for a client in Florida. Private client this time, but they have done many other projects for theme parks, for artists, for all kinds of clients. And look at that, the main part of the booth. That's the bar for the man cave. That's the model of what it's eventually going to look like full size. Oh, look at that. It's the logo himself. Look at you. Checking out the designs. Awesome. Oh, here come the primates. There's OG Slick himself.
OG Slick is trying to stay out of trouble.
Trying to stay out of trouble.
Talk to the primates, please.
Sorry. Dude, there's so much freaking stuff out here, and it's all so rad. Look at all of these are blacklight prints. They glow. Look at the size of that Kraken. No way.
Inspired by you.
Power of the Cobra.
I made this because you were going around saying the power of the
No
Cobra.
way. That is so sick.
It all like
no
glows
way.
in the dark and
Even the
stuff.
black and white ones are glowing.
Yes, everything glows in the dark.
Dude, that is sick.
This one's really scary.
Look at that.
This is the Spinosaurus, that Ankylosaurus, the Triceratops. This guy's a space ranger. He's really far out in space, but he knows how to get back home, so he's okay. The velociraptors fighting the hammerhead shark. They probably never existed at the same time, but it was a battle that just had to take place.
Yes, a battle that had to take place and a sticker that had to take place. I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Random Land inspired a sticker. That one's going right on my van. So much stuff. From the cutest of the cute to the dark and creepy. And here's something new. I've been to Designercon many times. I've never seen puppets here. Dude, that is so cool. Look at these. These puppets are up for adoption.
We're all looking for good homes.
Okay.
You know, we're good cuddlers.
Good cuddlers. Oh my gosh, and look at the little tiny ones down here. That just goes to show you, you never know what you're gonna see at this show. Look at that thing right there. Look at that. Oh, more puppets. So much fun, weirdness, the sort of unusual custom toys and monsters here, if you're into that kind of thing, are out of control. And this place is especially awesome if you are a sticker lover. Not only that, but so many cool new clothing lines. If you're looking for clothing you can't find anywhere else, you're gonna find all kinds of custom brands here. Now, what in the world is this? I've been seeing this pink truck from all the way across the hall. There appear to be many cats involved. Look at this. This one's pointing. Yes, pointing. They've got all these strange, rude kitties, but let's face it, actually, in real life, cats are pretty rude. I don't know what's going on here with all these buckets of flowers, but I do like seeing giant monkeys. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Look at this. There are whole lines of merchandise featuring characters you have never heard of. All kinds of new things to be exposed to. And you come around the corner to the next booth, and there's even more creative, original stuff. And man, with Designercon happening in November every year, it's pretty much the perfect place to buy somebody a unique Christmas gift, that is for sure. There's just something about the cardboard booths that I love. Something about it. Maybe it's just because of how much I loved building forts out of giant refrigerator boxes my grandpa would find me as a kid. It means they've been done before, but they could never be done to death. Dude, look at this. Would you look at the size of that pumpkin? No longer the great pumpkin. I don't know, he still looks like a great big pumpkin to me. Look at that. The whole family loves him. I used to come to Designercon thinking, I'm going to try to see everything. But over the last couple of years, I've learned, and I know better now. It is not possible, especially if you only have one day, but it is still worth coming in even if you only have a few hours. Because like I say, you're guaranteed to see things you'll see nowhere else. Dude, I love this booth. This one hits you in the face right when you walk in the convention. Look at the size of that monster. I love the moving eye up there. I love it. Some of the booth designs even are just so creative. And when they have ultra sick merch inside of them, so much the better. Whoa. Look at the size of that He-Man. So many unique and interesting things. The only way this convention could get even better is if they let me steal one of these carts and ride it around, you know, because my dogs are barking. I'm not gonna lie to you, now that I've been looking at these carts, I really want to drive one around. I can tell the convention is getting even bigger than it's ever been before because there are so many more lines than there ever used to be, which not only means some of these brands are becoming more popular, of course, it also means there's more people at the show than ever. Look at this Astro Boy car. And then, of course, what have we here? We've got some gigantic life-size toys. You guys know I love seeing that. In fact, speaking of life-size toys, you remember that giant life-size Frankenstein action figure that we made for a convention this summer? Well, I worked with Monster City Studios to make that. And now I have another life-size action figure project in mind. I don't even know what to do with them afterwards or anything. Sometimes you just want things to exist, you know? Actually, maybe that's why I like Designercon so much, because you know when you're here, you're surrounded by people who do understand that. Because you're both surrounded by the makers, of course, and by all the fans, the people who understand and appreciate. Oh, look at more friends. We got the big MC, Mark Bricky. And look, it's Mr. Walters from Walters Works. How's it going?
Good, man.
You're like running the show now.
Running the show.
I met you at the show, now you're running the show. What the heck? It's definitely nice to see familiar faces at these conventions. It's also nice to come in, take a load off, sit around the old campfire swapping stories with your buddies. But as much as I love that type of thing, there's no time today. I've got a lot more Designercon stuff to see, dude. Look at this, the Super 7 booth. They've been making these giant figures, particularly a lot of Disney ones that are so awesome, and I want them. Especially this one, and this one. If for no other reason than they remind me of the Main Street windows at Disneyland. They're just at that perfect sort of size and scale, but they're pretty pricey. So for now, I'm sticking to the small action figures, you know? And small action figures are what Super 7 does best. Looks like they've got some new Power Rangers figures coming out, but also check this out. Mars Attacks glow figures. Based on the original trading cards, not the movie. And oh my gosh, look at this. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. And look at all the Universal Monster stuff. Dude, they make the best Universal Monster stuff, bar none. Now, most of their offerings here seem to be tailored towards the Designercon audience. But Super 7 does a lot of stuff. They have a lot of rad 80s toy licenses now. The Universal Monsters, like I mentioned earlier. They were the first ones to do that sort of classic 80s style Back to the Future action figures, finally. And they do those Ninja Turtles Ultimate figures, which you may have just seen a second ago. And a good friend of mine may or may not have helped me pre-order the giant Ninja Turtles van that Super 7 is going to ship out eventually. So I'm looking forward to that. Can't help being a big fan of this company. But of course, many of their products are going to end up in Target and various places like that. What I'm more interested in today are all the things you can't see anywhere else, like I was saying, and all these different artists' wares. Like, look at this. Isn't that the cutest little Nosferatu you've ever seen? So much art. So much art. You almost run out of words to describe what you're feeling and thinking about all the art. If you can think or feel anything about the art at all after a while, after you've been here for a little bit of time, the overstimulation starts to get intense. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at that freaking Mr. T right there. That is a thing of beauty. And I pity the fool who doesn't like Mr. T. I wonder what this booth has. Whoa, sick Ninja Turtle stickers and prints. That's what it has. It's weird that a lot of these people are like right in my age range, right? Like that sort of Xennial thing, Gen X / millennial, between sort of 30 and 50. All these 80s and 90s kids turned out to be a very creative generation. Strange. I don't know what it was. Was it all the cartoons that we watched, or all the sugar and the breakfast cereal? Maybe it was all the Ritalin, who knows? Dude, this is super weird because check this out right here. Chris Cherry has designed so many of the punk rock logos and t-shirts that I grew up with. And now I just bumped into him at Designercon. And he's a heck of a swell, nice guy. Oh my gosh. So much stuff. Wow, look at this. Now I've got a sticker machine in my booth, but it is nowhere near as cool looking as that one. Speaking of, I really want to do more with our antique store booth. We're gonna have to do a little re-theme coming up for the new year. I have some ideas, but I better not tell you now. Because that's the worst thing ever, isn't it? When you tell people all about these ideas you have, and then for some reason they don't happen. And I've learned that my strength is, I'm an idea man. I come up with ideas all the time. But I am terrible with execution. I am not a doer as much as a thinker when it comes to art projects for some reason. Filming, adventures, getting out to the middle of nowhere, that I've got no problem with. I'm a big time doer when it comes to that stuff, but when it comes to art ideas, time, resources, and enough hands to work on the projects, that's always the problem. Oh, I love this. Look at this. Disgustin' Justin. My name is also Justin. I'm glad no one ever thought of calling me Disgustin' Justin. And I'm glad someone else is taking it now. Woohoo! Look at that. So much of that nostalgia I was talking about. So much of it that inspired so much art. And look at this, the other side of the table is yours, the Wonky Toy Company. Look at how wonky these things are. Wow, look at this. We even have some tiki art here. Okay, that's awesome. I wish I'd have thought of that. And my friend Jens and my good friend Creepy Ernie from HauntedOrangeCounty.com are both over here buying some shrunken heads. And luckily, Albino Alligator was here to facilitate. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, it's the best booth ever. Butts on things. Look at that. There are butts on Game Boys and tacos and containers and coffee and a butt on a pickle. Ooh, that one's a butt on a butt. You got butts on pins. There's Vincent
He's got a butt.
Look at R2-D2's butt.
Ah, the humor. All right, look at this. This is awesome.
These are some of the coolest ideas I have ever seen. Mr. E.T., come on with that. Okay, dude, Mr. E.T. might be my favorite art of all the art.
I think I like it even more than the butts.
Now, if you're interested in coming to DesignerCon next year, I highly recommend the 3-day pass,
Or at least the weekend, Saturday, Sunday pass.
both of which are super affordable, and actually even just a 1-day ticket's only $25. A surprisingly affordable convention. Look at that. One face, meh.
The claw.
Oh, how about this? Or this. Too soon. Here we've got a Street Shark combined with a video game Sharkade. That is genius. There are even Pogs. This stuff is genius. Every single one I think, oh, I wish I'd have thought of that. Oh, man. Ouch. Brutal.
So epic, dude. I definitely love to consume art in the form of small plastic, vinyl, or resin figures.
Oh, look at this resin blood over here. I feel like there's resin in my blood because of how much I love all these toys, all these custom toys. Oh, man, and all of these were made by Eddie. You did a great job, Eddie. I have so many ideas for custom action figures of my own. I think of them every year, all year long. And I hate to admit this. I've tried to keep this off camera, my friends.
I've done a lot of experimenting with mold making and resin pouring this year, you know, some sculpting, see if I got what it takes.
Sometimes I can sculpt things okay, but I cannot ever mix the chemicals right for the molds or pouring the resin. It's a whole separate skill in and of itself, much less the painting, you know, the card artwork, the putting it all together. I mean, this is truly multiple art forms packaged into one deal when you see something like this. Dude, so much good stuff.
I need to find a custom toy maker who's already good at it and team up with them one day.
Classic. Okay, these are geniuses. Look at that. R2 Berry and Count Chewbacula. I love it.
Ooh, now this is interesting. Somebody over here is doing live wax sculpting. Actually sculpting some of these toys. Look at that. So much talent. So much attention. That's my problem. I can't pay attention to nothing. I got the ADD.
Look at this. They're explaining the whole process here and making stuff in front of everyone. That is rad. So another thing I love about DesignerCon is there's definitely some trade secrets, but for the most part, there's very little gatekeeping. In fact, all day long, if you keep an eye out, you'll notice people leaving their booth and going to other booths, and all the artists are sort of talking to each other and swapping tips, I guess.
But they're genuinely stoked on each other's work, like they're getting inspired by each other. DesignerCon rules.
But as much as I love DesignerCon, and I do, look at them bananas, I am definitely reaching that point of overstimulation where I am finding it very difficult to focus on any one thing or any one booth. And so I think my time here might be drawing to a close. A little shorter of an adventure at DesignerCon than I wanted it to be, but like I said, normally in years past, I get the 3-day pass. I'm here all 3 days of DesignerCon. One year, I would love to have a booth at DesignerCon. That's sort of maybe something to think about. But I'm definitely going to have to carve out more time for making art if I'm going to stock something like that. Of course, then that reminds me that I've got the antique store booth. I have a booth all year round. I just really need to be sprucing it up. Hey, look, there's Shag out in the wild. Okay, look at this. How sick are these? Plastic meatball. I've never even heard of plastic meatball. But look at all the rad stuff they've got. Never really liked this cereal, though. It was kind of the worst cereal. Was it just me? But I mean, for all of these, figure-wise, all I can say is they're great.
Oh, Jennifer Connelly, the original Bae. People still say that? People still say Bae? Hey, Bae. What's up, fellow kids?
I keep thinking I'm done and that I've seen everything, but then I keep turning corners and there's so much more to go. There's so many wonderful things. Wonderful things everywhere. Well, anyway, to preserve my sanity, I'm gonna have to take off pretty soon. But really, DesignerCon's already done its duty for me.
And done its job, as usual, very well.
Because once again, I'm feeling very inspired. You can't help it if you come down here. I don't know if there even is another convention
Where so many creative brains are in one room together.
There's certainly not so much talent. When you come out here, by the way, make sure to go all the way to the back. Make sure to check out the nooks and crannies and corners because there are a lot of very creative artists out here.
Sometimes some of the best, most creative stuff
Is hiding in the very back in the small artist booths.
Someday I just need a much bigger house, dude, because there are so many cool posters in this world. What I like to do is switch out my posters every once in a while, right? You get one frame, bunch of posters in it.
But even still, there's so much good artwork in this world.
You can never have too much.
There's just no such thing as too much art. Impossible! I'm just walking around at random now and still seeing so many rad things I didn't notice earlier. Just a truly unstoppable, radical amount of epic art and
Plenty of weirdness.
which is, of course, the way I like it. And I've met a lot of weird people out here today, which is always another huge, epic bonus. I love meeting kindred spirits.
I've even met a few people wearing the Kindred Spirits cap, the hat, the symbol of I like adventure and I like awesome.
I didn't even notice this huge area in the back with all kinds of carnival games earlier. This is crazy.
If I heard correctly, I learned a new fact about Designercon today.
But just like our last meetup, kids 12 and under are free, which is always awesome. You can't beat free.
I just need to walk away from the main convention for a little bit into this open space. I think I'm gonna find a nice wall to stare at.
Just something plain.
Reminds me of elementary school, right?
Staring at the corner. Whew. I'm gonna try to reset my brain here and then dive back in for one last round, walk around a bit.
But unfortunately, I think it's all you and I have time for. Remember, we have some sick designs up on our online store and lots of links down below in the description. You can follow me on Instagram. Don't forget about the Instagram.
And I rarely have ever asked this, but if you like this video, please share it with your pals.
And I'll see you guys in the next adventure. For now, we've done our duty. We can go home.
Sleep well. Hours later. I am so overstimulated. It's game over for me.
I feel like you gotta.
Dude, by the way, I only met fake Tyler because of you and your Pizza Planet truck.
D23 2015.
And yet, Tyler ain't here.
Where is he? Where'd he go? What's he doing? I know he just got
fake.
married. He's just
fake.
he's a changed man now that he's married.
Yeah, that's true. He's with his old ball and chain. Maybe he's the old ball and chain.
I think
actually.
he's the ball and chain.
Yeah.
I think